They scarred her little sister. It was actually my mom. I was trying to get her into anime, and I seen the family-friendly version first. Then I bought the series, did not look at the rating, and said, "Hey mom, come watch this." The name of the anime was Gantz.
Alright, I'm back. Alright, so this one was before I even really got into anime. It's just, so what happened is just some friends were trying to get me in. I'm like, no, I'm playing video games, and that's my thing. Just what I do. But they're like, okay, come on, watch one. And this one's pretty popular. I mean, Fullmetal Alchemist. A lot of people like that one. So I was thinking, okay, I'll give this a shot. I'll just tune into this, see what's going on. It was this episode with a talking griffin was the episode. And it had a little girl who this father turned into like a talking griffin. I freaked out and did not watch anime for a year.
I didn't bring this one up at first because I felt so certain that somebody else would say it. But if nobody else is going to, then you have a right to know. Back in 2004, very shortly after it came out on the various like Chan-related image boards and such, there was made very popular something about like a Yuri romance shrine maiden thing called Kannazuki no Miko. I have a reaction here. This person knows. Okay, so I will spoil bits because if you haven't seen it, don't. Okay, so first off, the first half of the series is incredibly boring and very slow. And they use like really odd, directorial cinematography techniques to try to keep things interesting. Like you have a boring dialogue scene between two people, and they try to have like a split screen thing going on between two different people. And I thought, well, this is great. How do you like spice up your anime boring dialogue scenes with Super Mario Kart vision? And then in the second half of the series, I'm loath to even say it because I know it's supposed to be a family-friendly setting, but there was a lesbian rape scene. And then the entire world dies. I'm not exaggerating. And the worst thing is that these two events aren't connected. And there's also mechs. They had no other reason to be there. I don't know. It was Kannazuki no Miko. Please don't watch it.
So I'd say the anime that scarred me for life wasn't actually dubbed, or it was actually the dubbed version of it. I'd been studying Japanese, I think, at a year at the point where I started watching it, and I'll just leave it at this: card captors.
Virtue for kids. I have to start this off by saying I was a very naive little girl up to about 12 years old. I didn't know anything about anything. So my friends got me into anime, and they started me off with Ouran High School Host Club. It was fantastic. I loved it, whatever. And the twins, it was like, oh my god, what is this? This is fantastic. And so I asked what it was called, and my friend, she was like, oh, it's this thing called yaoi. And I'm like, oh wow, okay, this is awesome. So I decided that I would look up yaoi anime.
Okay.
It's not as bad as it seems like it's going to be, but I found Junjo Romantica, and I was like, this looks really cool, so I started watching it. And please forgive me, I can't remember the main characters' names, but Usagi and his partner thing, I was like, oh wow, I bet they're friends, you know, it's really cute, whatever. No. I never looked at anime the same way again.
Alright, I'm back with yet another scarring story. I was either 13 or 14 at the time, and I watched A and B, and the show looked actually pretty cute, so I started watching. The anime was open-leaded. Subversion uncensored.
Oh.
Biggest mistake of my life. I could watch anime for a while, to be honest. Enough said.
So, the other day we were looking through, me and my friend were looking through the anime Banzai panels and saw the one called Wolves in Anime. And I brought up that I really hadn't seen many wolves in anime, so I'm like, is there some that you know of that I don't? Because all I know is Wolf's Rain. She says, oh, go look at Legend of the Blue Wolves.
Oh no.
There aren't wolves, just early naked men.
Alright, so I'm just starting to get into anime. I was hanging out with my bass player. He's like a big guy covered in tattoos, like looks intimidating. He's like, go watch this anime, it'll make you cry. I'm like, whatever dude, I haven't cried in like 7 years. And it was a Clannad after story. And I'm like, yeah, the whole last half, I'm like crying like a little girl every 15 minutes. And don't tell anyone. Clannad, it's the one she mentioned, but it's the after story, it's the second season.
After Story is actually, I think, voted one of the better animes on the Anime News Network.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you like internet memes, first of all, but I feel like this discussion should be called I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going. This is more an anime-related event that scarred me for life, but all growing up, I was into anime. The first anime I ever watched was Gundam Wing, and I was just in love with the whole robots fighting robots idea. And anyway, so my mom had a really hard time while I was growing up accepting this idea that I was really into this weird, obscure genre. And I tried really hard to get her into it. I was like, there's Miyazaki films, they're really friendly, and it just never worked. But so, I grew up, moved out, and I could still go see her sometimes. And one time when I went and saw her, we were talking about recent movies that we'd seen and everything, and then she suddenly goes, I'm really into this thing called Death Note. That scarred me for life.
Hello again. This isn't really scarring, it's just sort of weird. I love zombies. I love them. So I watched High School of the Dead. Yeah, clearly it's great. There's a lot of action, but there's so much fan service. It's just so suffocating. But then there's this one specific episode where a sniper was shot, and somehow it was shot like between the physics of boobs bouncing. And my friend just came up next to me, and he's like, kind of looks like Jello.
I think it was on your national film channel I saw it. Such wonderfully sophisticated entertainment like M.D.Giest. What? M.D.Giest.
Alright, well, when I was in the 12th grade, I was in my second year of Japanese class, and I refused to watch anime and read manga, little works, because I didn't want to get into that. But then I got curious, and my friend had manga, and she was saying it's really good, it's one of the best things she ever read, so I decided to read it. It was called Uzumaki. And now I have a very strong stomach, and I'm obsessed with horror. So, hey, that's my genesis.
This one's not, strictly speaking, purely anime. It's that wonderful realm of video games based on anime. The series Star Ocean, specifically Star Ocean Till the End of Time. And all of the existential malarkey there at the end of, we exist because we believe we exist, by the people that you've been playing throughout the entire game.
Yes, sir.
So for this one, I wasn't exactly scarred, but it was really, really unsettling show. Because like you shouldn't start off an anime like this, you really shouldn't. But has anybody ever heard of Kure-nai?
Yeah.
So it's from the same guy who made that. You know, Kure-nai was this guy all of a sudden taking care of a little girl, and he has to protect her. And so from the same writer, in the same world and the same setting, with just different characters, he makes this one called Denpa teki no Kanojo. And the very, very first 10 seconds in the scene is a girl getting raped.
Oh, yeah, it's always a
And you know, this is actually just an OVA, only 2 episodes long, and it's twisted. It's so twisted, the show. Well, she ends up helping the rapist kill other people because she starts to... It's crazy. Like, she keeps convincing him to kill more people after it happens. It's crazy. I don't know, but wow.
Hi. Okay, so I have a funny story that I wish to share. I have this firm belief that every otaku has one anime that is really twisted, but they secretly love it. They don't always tell people, but they love it. You know. And I have these 2 best friends, Sunny and Maggie, and I was telling my friend Sunny this philosophy. I said, everyone has one that's just truly twisted, and they love it, and they won't tell anybody. She goes, what's yours? And I go, well, why don't you come watch it? So I sit my friend Sunny down, and all 3 of my friends, we all like yaoi, but you know, it's nice to be warned sometimes. And I sit her down and I go, okay, watch this. And she's like, okay, there are these people in a city, they're fighting, this is interesting. The show was called Toga Inanochi, and I don't know if you're familiar with the character Kao, but he is a dog. And that means that the big bad guy took this like 16-year-old kid and cut out his eyes, took out his voice, put him in tiny, tiny leather shorts, and made him a dog.
Wow.
Yeah, and he like crawls around the city catching people for the bad guys. And she was like, you like this show? And I was like, it has cool fighting scenes. And so then my friend Sunny told my friend Maggie, you know, my philosophy about everybody has a weird anime that they like. And she goes, yeah, and Brandis is kind of twisted. And my friend Maggie goes, why don't you guys come watch mine? So she sits us down and she's like, you have to watch at least the first 6 episodes before you bail, because you will bail. And I was like, okay. And she starts it, it was Speed Grapper. Oh, yeah. I'll be honest, I bailed. I can handle a lot, but just no, just no. As I fail everything.
Okay, so a couple years ago, a friend of mine was like, watch this anime. I love it. It's absolutely adorable. It's cute. It's really cute. I know, and I hate cutesy stuff, which is why she dresses me. And so it was Princess Tutu. I get through the first half, which I'm currently in the process of rewatching like 6 years later, and she was like, when do I get that back? And I'm like, well, I watch 10 minutes a day. So I'll let you know. 6th episode. And she's like, what? And I'm like, it's a long story. But the first time I watched it, I actually got all the way through it, and I watched the last episode, and even though she went to bed really early and I was the late person, I called her at 2 a.m. and said, what was with the ending? Yes! She's like, I thought it was cute. No, it wasn't. I was very, very upset. By then I was invested. It was depressing!
So, I watched this anime when I was 12. My big brother's friends watched a lot of anime, and I snuck it out of his room, and it was uncensored. It numbed me to almost all other animes that haven't bothered me since on fan service. Steel Angel Kurumi.
Try it.
Well, I'm still kind of used to the whole anime stuff, but this was just an experience I had. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 2 years ago, I think I got into this thanks to my lovely wife. But I'm still kind of not really used to cross-dressing. I'm not sure if that's what you would call it. But I've always been a fan of Misty from Pokemon. Since I was a little kid, I always had a crush on her. And a couple years ago, I saw a couple of them walking around. I'm like, I really want to give one of them a hug because everyone's, you know, giving one a hug. And so I saw this one and I run up behind her. I thought it was a her. So I get a hug Misty and it heats her out. So,
I work for you, you poor soul. Okay, so I was kind of new to the anime, internet world. So I went to Newgrounds. I didn't know what was on. I tried a Naruto dating game.
Oh, unless you want a really bad lesson in parts of the body you never knew were there.
Okay, last Saturday I watched this anime that I don't even think anybody knows about yet, because I found a trailer to it. It's called O Mamori Himari. Really, really funny anime. A lot of fan service in it, a lot of fighting. The last episode was one of those jaw-dropping scenes where you think the main heroine is just gone crazy and is going to kill her best friend. And eventually she snaps out of it and kills this demon that's like 10 times her size. And like the very end, they're at the main male character's house, they're all eating, and his friend, there's his teacher and his class chairman show up, and they see all the other characters that were introduced throughout the series. It's a 12-episode anime, and they thought that he was doing something that he shouldn't have been doing. Oh!
I'm surprised no one's mentioned this yet, considering it's fairly new, but I sat down and watched one episode, and I got my friend to watch it with me, the rest of it. And I'm hard to scar, but when we got done with it, he just looked at me and said, "What'd you make me watch?" And I'm still unsure what to think of it. I like it, but still unsure. And it's Mahō, Shōjo, Magica.
Death to Cube.
Yes. Okay, so after a very vicious round of Super Smash Bros. Brawl, my friends decided to humble me a little bit by introducing me to an anime called Welcome to the NHK. They didn't have the decency to introduce me with even the first episode. They decided to introduce me to the MMORPG episode, which ended up ending off with him finding a girl on an MMORPG, and he's trying to get to introduce her, to eventually meet up with the girl, and then it ends up being his best friend that lives just right next door, messing with him the entire time. Very humbling, and I actually left the building right after they introduced it to me, and I pretty much just went on a mild run, just trying to get it out of my system.
So for me, it was Genshiken Season 2, where the characters that you've kind of fallen in love with, you kind of connect with, suddenly bust out into this yaoi fantasy scene. That's gotta be for life.
Yeah, I got this going. I wasn't going to say this earlier because I thought it'd be too much, but apparently not. I was watching an anime once. I bailed on it because it was too much. It was called Kiss X Kiss. And I'm glad some of you know this. The premise is basically there are two twin younger sisters to this older man. They're all in high school. And they're very awkward scenes with them jumping him in the bathtub and forcibly shoving chocolate in his mouth. It's quite scarring.
So my friend back there in the one of the Minecraft costumes reminded me of an anime called Vampire Bund. The first half of the anime, you sit there and you're like, I feel like such a pedophile watching this anime.
I'm writing all of them down.
No, that is just odd. This
you really feel like a pedophile watching it. Vampire Bund. Sorry.
Okay, that was really fun for me after the first time, so I'm back. This didn't exactly scar me, but it definitely like made me feel these emotions that I've never felt before in this magnitude. So soon after the fun that I had with Oran High School's Club and Junjo Romantica, I decided to watch Black Butler. So I mean, obviously I really like Black Butler, you know. I watched it and I loved it, still do. So I get to like last 4 episodes. I'm not gonna spoil anything because it's like an insane like ending. But I watched the last episode and I literally cried for 4 hours straight. I could not function. My brother, I was babysitting him. I was supposed to make him dinner. He was like, will you make me mac and cheese? And I'm like, sure. And so I sat for like 30 minutes just stirring, just sobbing my eyes out. And then because that wasn't enough, I decided I needed to watch season 2 like directly after that. So it was, Alois is quite the scary little child. That was not good to watch at like midnight, you know. Just don't do it, yeah.